Yeah, and yesterday there were the reports, and there was a law enforcement bulletin that went out that said there were 3 men and a woman who may have been caught on camera actually placing explosives here in New Orleans. Today, this assistant director said, we investigated, figured out that they were actually just bystanders, that they were not people helping with the attack. But that was something else that scared people. I want to show you guys, too. There's some new photos that just came out within the last hour or so. These are real surveillance photos that we have now that actually show the suspect on surveillance video. They're stills, but of him in New Orleans. He's sort of dressed up. There you go. It's interesting to see this angle of him. He's in jeans and he's got this kind of like nice coat on, and they actually show him walking around, and then he puts an IED, we learned today, into a cooler. We've got a picture of the cooler too. And they say that, well, there it is, the cooler. What they believe now is he's the only one who was placing explosives. But Aaron, I want to go to you though, because, I get what Bobby's saying, that the investigation changes and as they learn more, but it seemed like a big change from telling everyone that there were people who helped him, today saying he definitely acted alone. I mean, do you think, Aaron, we could get another narrative, another change tomorrow?
Well, I think Bobby's nailing it on the head. Investigations are fluid. I think as more information gets released, we're going to find out more about these both these individuals, with the Tesla in Vegas, and obviously with the attacker on Bourbon Street. But I got to tell you, Brian, my concern isn't about the investigation. That's not what's getting my heart pumping here. My concern is about the failure in the system, and the attack in New Orleans and Vegas highlight, in my opinion, some very critical flaws in America's overall counterterror strategy. And our system I don't believe, is designed to address these evolving threats that we're seeing today. And I think that there are serious problems throughout the federal agencies, including the FBI. We just saw it with Trump almost getting his head shot off. And I think that there's some competing priorities with these federal agencies that are not the best priorities that are going to focus on protecting Americans, including these DEI initiatives. I think it's too much, and I think it's distracting from the primary mission. And I think the federal government needs to get back to what they were mandated to do, which is focus only on protecting the American people. And with all due respect to Bobby, that woman came out. She was the deputy SAC, or the SAC of that office. And she came out and gave some very bad information at a very critical time. She shouldn't have been speaking. I'm glad they did pull the plug on her. But in my opinion, Brian, these attacks were preventable, both of them. The truck ramming, the Tesla explosion, all this could have been stopped. And that's how you deal with terrorism. It's about better intelligence and better intelligence coordination and proactive measures. I don't care about the investigation. No one does that better than Bobby and his team. I'm about solutions. And right now, America's not geared to be able to deal with an emerging terror threat. These guys, it's only going to get worse from here, Brian. This is where we're at right now. And there needs to be a lot of different creative solutions to start looking at how we get back on track with protecting America and putting together a whole new way of dealing with this. And it might include creating an entire new pure domestic counterterror agency here in the United States, specifically to deal with these emerging threats. That's how we do it in Israel. And we still can't stop them all, but we stop thousands of them a year. And that's where I'm at with this right now.
Yeah, and I get the point Bobby made that people make mistakes, but I mean, the fact she said, and this was the first big press conference when everyone found out that all these people were dead, that she said it wasn't terrorism, and then the mayor had just before it said it was terrorism. I was even sitting there watching, thinking, like, did she just make a mistake? Or it was very confusing, especially you just consider something different from the FBI. I mean, were you surprised, Bobby, to see they brought in this assistant director today to sort of run the show?
Not at all. Not at all. After that performance yesterday, and I'm not sure. Aaron used the term DEI hires. I don't know what the situation with this agent was, but that's a glaring mistake. And I can tell you, the retired Asian population that I'm in contact with every day cringed as soon as we heard it. And we don't know anything about the case, but we cringed as soon as we heard that announcement that's wrong. We knew it was wrong, and we didn't know anything about the case. You can't make that kind of statement at that point in time. And I'm dumbfounded to understand why she made it.
Yeah, and I think it just adds to people being more confused even today with the different narratives changing, and it just sort of started off on a bad foot.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.